Is that legal? Can you play that? If she presses play on the live, can he be in the background?
No, it's fine.
Yeah.
Are we live?
Yeah.
Good to go. Okay. Signal would be nice next time. You know how usually when I do it, I'm like, and we're live. Unless I want to be sneaky. But if I don't, then I usually do that.
You told me to turn it on.
What's up? What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the U and
G Odyssey podcast.
I know, but there's no.
Oh.
Gump hasn't made it to one of these, and since I started back up again, he made it to maybe one. What up, Matt? We're here with Matt McElhone. Makes his return to the podcast. Welcome back, Matt.
What up?
I thought you got to say it as an intro.
I don't know what I'm supposed to say. What up, Matt? Yeah, what up with you?
Yeah, man. Shit. I'm gonna put my phone somewhere else because it's gonna be distracting. Oh man, that was salty. A little more beer. Okay, Matt. You've been gone for a while.
Mm-hmm.
What's new has happened since we last talked?
A lot, man. Well, I mean, you know, I was living with Butch Lord. So in doing that, I got to travel with him a lot. I went to, we went to Arizona and then San Diego. I didn't get to perform in San Diego. I had a real bad sinus infection from some past tense drugs. But then we went to New York, did a show out there in Jamestown. It wasn't like New York City or nothing, but like a little town, little club. And we did Shreveport, and recently we just got back from Las Vegas. So it was awesome getting the experience to like travel around the country with a headliner and fucking see what different clubs are like and what different comedy scenes are like and doing their open mics and everything.
Yeah.
You know, so.
That's amazing. How?
Yeah.
So what were you? Opener or were you?
Yeah, I was opening. Most of the time I was hosting, but there were a couple times where it was like kind of just doing a guest spot. Like when we went to Shreveport, I thought I was going to be hosting, and we got there and they were like, "Nah, we got a regular host. He's going to host." So,
Okay.
but.
And the hosts usually get about what?
10 to 15. It depends on the club and how many comics they have on the bill, but 10 to 15.
Now, have you been to something? Have you done that before where you go out and visit like so many places at once? Pretty much go on.
I mean, I've done open mics in cities. I've never been booked on anything out of state until I was. Damn, I can't stop burping. Until I was with Butch Lord. But, like, I would go to Chicago and spend a week there sleeping on my uncle's couch and doing their open mics to get a feel for what the Chicago comedy scene is like. And I did that in. Oh, that's not true, actually. I went to Denver with Mikey B when I was like 6 months into comedy. And I got a guest spot with him in Colorado Springs and then did all the open mics all weekend because he was doing the hosting for the weekend. Man, so I'm coming up on 2 years in October. So if that 6 month estimate that I just gave you is right, I guess it was about a year and a half ago. So, yeah.
That's cool, man. Funny you say Denver. I actually was there 2-3 weekends ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I did an open mic over there while I was there.
Did you like it?
Yeah, it was fun.
Which open mic? I might know it, probably not, but.
Oh shit, there wasn't that many. It was a Friday.
Yeah. Fridays and Saturdays is never open mics because none of the clubs want to like piss people off and turn them away with amateur comedy. You know, we're lucky to have Friday at Plano Hyenas.
Here, so
Yeah.
I just said I'm gonna be in town. Let me just go ahead and see what I can do.
Right.
And I found one, so I mean, went ahead and tried it out. It was one of those open mics where they it's kind of like an open stage, so they'll have people play music.
Yeah.
And I guess do comedy or something like that. So I did, of course I did my thing for what was it, 5 or 7 minutes? How long do you remember, Lana?
What?
How long was my set?
Oh, Lana went too?
You got 15 minutes.
It was 15 minutes.
You got 15 minutes.
Oh, okay.
That's awesome. That's for an open mic. Damn.
Yeah. Well, you know what sucked though, because I hadn't. Oh, my camera looks funny. I don't like how that looks.
No, it's bad, but I can't fix it because I have to adjust the lenses.
It might be easier to fix it now since since we're looking at it. Here, I can at least center you.
Yeah.
There you go. Now you're centered.
Yeah, it's better. I mean, I shouldn't complain. I mean, I'm working with the cheapest shit again.
I'm fucking out of here.
Hey,
I didn't know this was such an amateur. No, it was like third time doing it. I can't even say I didn't know.
Yeah,
This is a lot better than it was. Yeah, third time. First time was with Kean, and then second time was just you and me, and Allie was in the background acting like Jamie from Joe Rogan. And then, yeah.
I kind of have somebody like that. Little Lana. That's Little Lana. She's the one who's taking over all the shit. So she's technically my producer and my assistant, right?
Right.
Assistant.
Is that what you like to be called?
I prefer, because I'm not a secretary.
Okay, assistant. Yeah, she's my assistant.
Yeah.
And I get to have sex with her.
Nice. That is, a lot of people get to have sex with their secretaries, but if this one actually enjoys it, I think you're good.
If I ever become popular, though, she'll be like, he me too'd me, man. I was working for him. He started touching me for 15 years. I had to deal with
I was gonna say, y'all been together for a while, haven't you? Before the podcast started, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not quite 2 years, but then again, there was some
Breakups and get back togethers.
No breakups. Just some like where we had a time period where
We were fuck buddies for about 9 months.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It was official for about 2 years.
Nah.
How romantic.
Anyway.
I'm taking notes for when I give a speech at your fucking wedding.
Oh, I did have some stuff I wanted to talk to you about.
Yeah.
Alright, and it's a little controversial. If you don't want to talk about it, it's cool.
Is it the fight?
No, it's not the
okay.
fight. It's are you not allowed to a certain open mic that I know of?
Oh, kind of. It is controversial. Long story short, that certain open mics person got mad because my girlfriend weighed in on a thread, she's in a stand-up support page, and she weighed in on a thread, and she kind of said some shit that she probably shouldn't have said. She went a little too far, and
you're talking about your girlfriend?
Yeah, and I wasn't gonna stop her. You know what I mean? I wasn't gonna say hey, don't say these things that you're feeling or whatever, because that's, in my opinion, more
no, you can't do that. You shouldn't do that.
misogynistic to expect me to be like, hey, you can't say that. Shut up. Be my woman. Don't be fucking expressing your opinions online. But she really upset the person, and I feel bad about that. And I think the person does a lot for this scene, and anyone who's listening to this probably already knows who it is anyways. Yeah. But I think the person does a lot for this scene. I think my girlfriend made some good points, but sometimes it doesn't translate that way over Facebook. My girlfriend, one of the things that
what was the topic?
The topic was all right, so there was, how mic maps is like a thing right now, and a lot of mics right now are doing sign-ups where you got to sign up ahead of time.
Yeah. You
got to sign up ahead of time, and that's a point of contention for a lot of people. You have to stay up till midnight I'm always up at midnight anyways, but by midnight I'm drunk and then I forget to sign up. And I've been bitching about this new trend for forever because it's frustrating. I'm so used to being able to arrive at a place, sign up, and then go up an hour later, and now I'm having to adjust, which I get that you have to adapt and overcome. And like Perio in that thread was saying, those people that want it more are setting alarms for midnight, and he's right. There's no reason I can't set an alarm for midnight. But one thing that frustrates me is a lot of people have been missing their spots and shit because they sign up at midnight, and then they either forget that they're on the next day or something comes up and they can't make it. And I think it's bullshit. I don't think there was anything wrong with the way it was. But the point is, the person who posted that thread said in the thread, in the comment or on the section thing, that anybody, or I can't remember exactly how she worded it, but in that post there was something along the lines of feel free to try and change my mind in the comments. And I think that she was saying that as a sarcastic you're not going to be able to change my mind, but go ahead and try to change my mind. Yeah. My girlfriend tried to change her mind. You know what I mean?
So she literally said, okay, I'm going to change your mind.
Yeah, and so the person that runs that open mic messaged me and said, hey, I think you should take a break from a while. I don't appreciate your girlfriend calling me a hypocrite and a sexist and blah, blah, blah. And I'm going to defend Devin, and she's allowed to say whatever she wants. And a couple people have asked me if it frustrates me that my girlfriend got me into hot water. And at the end of the day, it's honestly, dude, my beef with this open mic person, whether it's through my girlfriend or not, is going to be squashed eventually. Like, we get over everything in these fucking open mics. So I fucking take a month or two off of that open mic. And then one day we shake hands and say, hey, I'm sorry for the frustrations that we had, and I just want you to know I respect what you do in the comedy scene, and then everything's gravy. Who gives a fuck? You know what I mean? Like, I'm certainly not going to trash talk the person, because I think that she was right to be frustrated with what my girlfriend said, and I think that my girlfriend made some valid points. So I can't side with one or the other, you know? Of course, if Devin listened to this, she'd be like, you motherfucker, you're supposed to side with me. Like, but...
Well, I also have noticed some problems with the mic maps process. But for starters, like, as far as that, what goes with you, it's hard to, like... it's hard to separate a person from their significant other as, you know, as two different people. Because a lot of times people will be like, oh, because that person said it, you're with that person, you believe that too. So I'm gonna punish you for what that person says. And I always see people taking it like they're both one person.
Yeah.
One thing. And while I don't agree with what that situation, like, I don't agree with the person saying, hey, you know, you're to blame for what your girlfriend did. That person's their own person. They have their own actions. And if you want the other person to control that person, that, like, I don't. It's just.
It's
like,
a loop. It's a loop that you can't say, like, hey, control that person, but also, hey, don't be controlling of the other person.
With the way people view nowadays, it's like, yeah, it's convenient for her to say whatever she wants. But when it's something that it has to do with it affects the, you know, let's just say me, it affects me, then you saying whatever you want is not cool, and then you know the other person, let's just say you, because it was you.
Yeah.
You know, should have control of that person.
Right.
And, like, that's totally what we've been, like, fighting against, where we shouldn't expect we shouldn't expect guys to control women, but we shouldn't expect a woman to control the guy. Right. And that's, like, I don't know, when you treat them as one and punish one for the other, it doesn't. Not only that, I don't feel like it's very good on that relationship.
Well, yeah, and like, okay, so a second ago I said people have asked me, like, are you mad at Devin for getting you in trouble? No, because at the end of the day, if my girlfriend feels, like, frustrated enough that she has to voice an opinion on something, then, I mean, like, I've said a bunch of shit on stage that I'm sure she wishes I didn't say, you know what I mean? Like, I've said a bunch of shit about our relationship on stage, so who am I to sit here and be like, listen, bitch, you don't have the right to fucking get me banned from a mic. I don't think that and technically, by the way, I should get this on record, who gives a fuck? But anyways, like, I'm not, there was no official decree that says, you will not come to this mic anymore. There was a message that said, I think it would be best if you didn't come to this mic for a while. And I said, you know what? I fully respect that. I understand where you're coming from, and I'll respect those wishes. Like, the person did not say, hey, like, you are not allowed to come to my mic because of the things that your girlfriend said. That wasn't part of it, you know? So, I don't know. I'm not officially banned, but I'm definitely taking a break off from it. And it, you know, it happens to be on a night where another mic came back anyways. I don't know if you've been to DCH since it reopened.
Not really. No, I haven't.
Dude, the new DCH is beautiful. The old DCH was pretty cool as it was. Yeah. The new one is badass. I mean, they got a patio that you can smoke on and sit and talk to people and fucking... I'm really excited about the new DCH, honestly. Like, yeah.
That's cool. How do you sign up for DCH now? Is it still you?
It's a Google Forums thing. I can send you the link, but Google Forums. I think I said Forums,
I haven't signed
but
up with them since you're supposed to email them.
yeah. Yeah, it used to be email, and that was kind of frustrating, but now it's like you press the button, and it already autofills all of your names and everything. If you signed up more than 1 week in a row, it's like, and you just say, yep, sign up, and then you get an email on Monday, I think.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So,
Try signing up there more often.
I really like that place. The food's good. I mean, I'm not sucking their dick for no reason. Like, when you see it, you'll be like, wow, this is a cool club. Like, it's different. It's not like, I mean, Hyenas is great in that it's a conventional club, and it's what clubs should be, and blah, blah, blah. But I don't want to call DCH an indie club because that almost kind of discounts them. But just as a building and as an atmosphere, and the fact that they got a main room, and then they got a side room, and then they got all these fucking rooms for, like, training lessons and, like, little offices where you can schedule writing sessions and shit. It's really cool. Apparently it's a deserted, or deserted is not the right word, but the place used to be a garage, like, for mechanics and shit. And they've converted that into a comedy club, and it's got this really cool feel for Deep Ellum, you know.
Yeah.
It's right next to the old building, so.
Oh yeah, right in that area, right like around.
Literally right behind it.
What was it by Oak Cliff, right? Right around.
Kind of. Deep Ellum's kind of by like East Dallas, yeah.
Wasn't the other one in that area?
Huh?
DCH.
Yeah. Oh, like the old DCH is like right here. I gotta put my hands, and then on the street. Hold on. If this is the street, this is the old DCH, and then this is the next street over. It's right here. I mean, it's like a 30-second walk from the old DCH.
Oh, okay, that's cool. Yeah, I should try going over there. I've been trying to get all the open mics so that I can start rotating myself.
Yeah.
So I'm not constantly going to the same ones every week.
Yeah, I went to Chocolate Secrets for the first time this Monday. That was pretty cool. It's in like Uptown. I don't know if it's Uptown. I'm not too great with the Dallas communities. It's a rich part of town though. It's a fancy place. But the open mic was cool. It's run by this chick Michelle Rosedom. But it was a fun, and I was like, whoa, is it only this good because it was on Labor Day? And Carrie, you know Carrie Cooltrip. Yeah, Carrie Cooltrip was like, nah, man, this is weak. It's usually better than that, like in his own way. You know? Carrie's own way. Yeah, like
I've been wanting to get him on a podcast for forever, man.
Yeah, he'd be a great fucking
he's fucking
addition
awesome.
to this.
He's hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, like, fucking trying to figure out how to get here. He doesn't. Like,
oh yeah, the transportation.
Yeah. Oh man, but he's a fucking trip.
A cool trip.
Call him that. Oh, let's see. Back to what we were saying though. The mic map thing. I've also an issue that I've noticed is that sometimes like I'll sign up. Let's just say I'm like 22.
Right.
And then I'll come look at the paper, and I'm 23.
What do you mean? Like you sign up and then someone bumps you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I thought like the point of mic maps was so that you sign up because you got there, you wake up.
That's a frustration that a lot of people have.
And then you come by later on, you see the paperwork, and you're like, yeah, I got bumped.
I'm not gonna say his name because I don't want to air his grievances, but somebody has been complaining that the last few times that they signed up on mic maps for a specific, I won't even name the mic, but they've been signing up for a specific mic, and the mic says that they reorder it, and then he says he signs up, he waits, and at exactly midnight, he signs up, he's like 6th on the list, and then when he gets there, he's like 23rd on the list, and he's like, are you mad at me? Do you not like me? Why are you, like, I get that you're reordering the list to make the list better for everybody, but this dude's been in the scene for years, you know what I mean, and he's getting frustrated.
But I thought one of the arguments was that the people who want it stay up really bad and get...
Yeah, and then when they reorder it, you're like, well, what does it mean to want it if you're going to get reordered anyways? I agree. I don't know. Like, I'll be honest, I don't like the mic maps thing, dude. Like, I like the fact that it puts mics on a map. Like, if you're going to go to Oklahoma City, well, okay. If you're going to go to some city, let's say Oklahoma City, right? And you, Oklahoma City is not a good example. You gotta pick a city that's like a 2-day drive away, right? You get booked on a festival in Oregon, and you're gonna drive with 2 of your comedian friends, and then you get to pull up one app that tells you all the open mics on the way there. That's beautiful, but that's where it should have stayed at. They don't need to be getting involved in how you sign up for shit. Like, if they want to say send an email if you're coming from out of town, that's one thing. But saying, hey, I'm going to sign up for this mic tomorrow night, and then, I don't know, maybe I'll want to go, maybe I won't, but I just need to get my sign up in. That's totally watering down our scene, I think, you know. So, But the part where Mic Maps puts mics on the map and makes it possible for you to do open mics. When we came back from New York, Tony Casillas just got booked in. Am I wearing the shirt? No, okay. I almost wore the shirt today, but Tony Casillas, me, and Butch Lord went to New York. Yep. On the way home, we stopped in Springfield, Missouri, to do a mic at a place called, I don't know, the Blue Room, Billiards, Comedy. I don't know. It was an awesome little club, dude. We were all so stoked. And we were there for their open mic, and we were at the very end of the open mic list because we got there late. And the only reason they let us go up is because Butch went to him and was like, hey, man, I just got to tell you, like, we're traveling comics that came from, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, exactly. So so we went up at the end of that mic, and there were still so many people in the audience because that town is just like thirsty for comedy. You know what I mean?
What town was it?
Springfield, Missouri. Yeah, like The Simpsons. Yeah. I don't know why I had to act out the fucking Simpsons to you, but boy, I tell you, this Grey Goose. No. What was I saying? Okay, so yeah, but the only reason that we knew about that mic was because we were traveling from New York to Dallas, and Tony said, let me check out Mic Maps and see what's on our route. And we were able to literally plot, it's not that far away, because Springfield wasn't, like, directly on our route from, you know, but it's not that far out of the way. Do you want to go an extra 30 minutes and check out this comedy club in Springfield, Missouri? We were able to go there, and that does fucking great things for not only clubs, but for little mics, you know what I mean? For bar mics, like, even like Michael Reed runs Wine Squared, right? Yeah. He's got it on Mic Maps. If someone's coming through Denton and they ask on a Monday night, like, I'm just on my way to Shreveport, but are there any mics in this town that I'm passing through Denton? And they see that Wine Squared is on there. Yeah. That's beautiful, dude. That aspect of it is amazing. And I am absolutely not saying that the app shouldn't exist. Like, the app should exist. I just fucking hate the sign-up part. I'm being repetitive now. I'm sorry.
No, it's all right. It's funny, though, because that's how I found that Denver mic. I looked on Mic Maps, and then the guy had, and then, you know, showed his information in Denver. And, what was that place called?
I don't remember.
Fuck, what was it called? Anyway. It was, but yeah, I found it on that, and then I just hit the guy up. I sent him a text message and let him know that I was coming from out of town. And he was like, fuck it, yeah, okay, put me down.
Right.
That was cool. But yeah, finding the mics is awesome. But then you get the people involved.
Yeah.
And that's where it gets fucked up. Oh, man. But let's talk more about those shows you did on the road.
Yeah. All right.
How badass were they?
I mean, honestly, it varies. Like,
Anything wild?
Arizona was badass. Like, Tucson is where Butch Lord is, like, from. It's where he started his comedy career. He started doing comedy there 30 years ago. You know, they just had their 30-year anniversary, and he was one of the first comics that they ever booked as an opener. He was one of the first comics that they ever groomed and said, this man is going to open for us and host these big acts that come through. And because of that, when we went there, people went fucking crazy for him. You know what I mean? It was like, oh my God, Butch Lord's back in town. And every fucking show that he did, it was co-headlining between him and Todd Larson. Todd Larson got on the bill at the last second because of a double booking or something. I don't know. That was over my head. You know, I heard like bits and pieces of that. I'm not speaking on it, but the atmosphere there and the club, the guy that owns that place is Gary Bynum. And we got to go, like, have lunch with him and stuff. And we stayed at his house after we came back from San Diego on the way back. Yeah. And just hanging out with him and his wife and looking at the stars and everything. Like, he runs a great club, and he's an awesome dude. And it was a fucking all-around badass weekend. It was one of the reasons that... And then San Diego, like I said, I didn't get to perform on that. I fucking made mistakes, and then by the time I got to San Diego, I can't do coke anymore. It's like, dude, I've literally, I kept giving it tries. I was like, maybe that was just bad coke, you know?
Yeah.
I did that like 5 or 6 times, and I'm like, I don't know if allergic to it is the right word, but I've had sinus problems since I was a little kid. Like, I've had surgery on my sinuses. I get polyps and cysts and everything. I should probably quit smoking cigarettes, but I'm hell of addicted, you know? So, I don't know where I was going with that. So, San Diego, he got to perform. I didn't. That show kind of sucked, but it was cool to be able to go to San Diego. And we got to stay with one of his old friends from back in the day, and we met him. New York, hit or miss, you know? First 2 nights, not so great. Third night, pretty great. It was still a cool experience, and every time you hit the road, I mean, I'm sure you know this even just from going to Denver, like traveling to do comedy specifically, like on your way there, you're hopeful and optimistic, and you're like, oh, this is going to be where the fucking Netflix producers are at. This is where we're going to make it, right? And you're writing the whole time on the road with friends, and everything that you see, things that you never thought about before. Now you're like, oh, maybe this is a bit that I can do. And, you know, like glory holes. Oh, my God, glory holes. I didn't know I would ever see a truck stop glory hole. But New York was all right. And then Shreveport was a weird experience. Shreveport was like their Thursday show, they fucked us over, or their Friday show, I think they kind of fucked us over, man. Like, I'm not shouting out to their owners or anything, because their Friday show, they didn't do any promotion at all. They just expected that we were gonna bring the audience. It's like, dude, we don't have people driving from Dallas for this. Like, Butch is a great comic, he's a headliner, he travels the country, but he's not famous. Like, no one's coming just because he put Butch Lord on the marquee. So we were out fucking passing flyers and shit around town saying like, hey, come to the show. And then on Friday, there's like maybe 15 people there, maybe 20 people there. It wasn't a great show, right? We did what we did, and then they tried to stop. They tried to tell him, like, hey, you didn't sell enough tickets, you're not coming back tomorrow. And Butch, being who Butch is, and I respect the fuck out of him for this, he didn't lay down and take that. He was like, no, listen, you give me this time, and I will fucking prove myself. And he did. The following night, on Saturday, he proved himself. But here's the unfair part, and here's why I say, I don't know how I feel about that club, right? The following night, they, like, on Saturday, they, on a radio show, promoted the fuck out of the club. Yeah. So on Friday, we had 15 people. On Saturday, the club was sold the fuck out. And then they wanted to tell him, like, oh, yeah, see, that's the Butch we wanted to see. That's the Butch we expected to see, blah, blah, blah. It's like, well, the Butch you wanted to see doesn't perform for 12 people. God damn it. You know? Like, yeah. Of course he did better on Saturday when you actually promoted the show like you should as a club. You know, I don't know.
Damn, man, you can run into all kinds of problems on the road then, huh?
I've learned a lot. I'll tell you, I may never make it in this fucking career path or whatever. I may never be a fucking famous comedian, but having the opportunity to see different, like how it works here and how it works there and how it works there, I've fucking learned a lot about networking and the importance of promotion and what jokes just need to be thrown away because they only work for your hometown fucks. You know what I mean? Like, I've learned a lot. So.
That's cool. I know it sounded really. That's fucking cool though, man. I mean, shit. I don't know if I'll ever get that opportunity, but like.
He's living with you. He'll probably go on the road soon.
Yeah, no, I told him already. I told him I want to be on the road and do comedy on the road.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like I do need to see new things. I feel like it wakes something up inside me.
Yeah.
To see a whole new.
That's for everybody. Yeah.
So, if it does for everybody, then that means that I should do it then.
Yeah, totally.
If I felt like
you totally should.
If I felt weird or whatever and be like, I can't do on the road stuff because I've done a little bit of it, I'd be like, no, fuck that. It's fucking amazing to do on the road with
yeah,
new people and like one thing I was thinking about when I was doing that, I could just go over all my old jokes, the ones I haven't used in forever, because all these people haven't seen any of it, and it doesn't matter.
Right. Yeah.
And then the shitty thing is, I forgot one of them. I forgot how my Michael Jackson bit completely went. So like that was the only thing. I was like, fuck. I was like, because I didn't practice it no more after I did a showcase. Now that I was gonna whip it out, I don't completely remember it. So it sucked. So I'm like, man, if I could just.
You were gonna. Oh wait, never mind. Is Whip It good? That's not Michael Jackson. Never mind. Sorry, keep going. I was gonna make a cheap joke that it wasn't even accurate. You were gonna whip it. That's not even Michael Jackson.
You should have done it anyway. Yeah, but I heard something that kind of like upset me yesterday though. So let's get your point of view. I was at an open mic yesterday, and I was talking to some friends, and we're about to leave, and then little Lana here, she sees that I'm doing some things, so she goes and sits down, and then she overhears somebody else having a conversation, and what I think, okay, the girl had made a comment about a set.
Is that G?
What up, Bob?
Oh.
Jonathan, can you help him out, or whenever you're ready? I'm gonna continue with the show. That's my cousin Bob. He's here for stuff.
What up, Bob?
So she overhears the girl saying, "I can't believe he said that." Right?
After the mic?
Yeah, after my set, and she said she saw there was 3 people at a table next to her, and she was she gets on her phone, she's doing her little stories that she likes to do, or she's reading manga.
Yeah.
She's very inconspicuous. If she wasn't so damn white, you would never notice that she was around there. But look how bright she is. So she overhears the girl saying, "I can't believe he said that," and she was referring to what I said on stage, because I had said some. I did this little. Last night I just went to have fun. Got a little stoned, very stoned.
Where was it? Or did you say?
No, I didn't say. It was at
You don't have to say if you don't want to say.
This is for somebody already?
If it says Q on it, yes.
Okay. Fuck yeah.
Nah.
I want this.
Too bad you can't have it. Shit. It was at Twilight Lounge. So, yeah, I made a bit that off the top of my head that I've always thought is, to me it's funny to punch a girl in the pussy.
Right.
Yeah. And it's not really the fact
Because of the quarterback from Florida State, right? I can't think of his name right now.
Actually, I don't know anything about that. What was that all about?
Never mind. Keep going. I can't think of his name, but he was a quarterback for Florida State University, like the Seminoles or whatever, and he said "fuck her" right in the pussy. He jumped up on a fucking.
The guy who made it famous to come up behind and say "fuck her" right in the pussy.
Yeah, and he's in the NFL right now. I can't think of his fucking name. I can't think of who he plays for right now either. Not like a big NFL guy.
For me, I started off with saying that, and then because I think it's funny to hear a girl say my pussy," like just that phrase of saying, because it never happened. So
Yeah.
To hear that phrase like that, like when a guy gets in his nuts, it's funny, but you kind of hear people say my nuts all the time.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
not that uncommon, but when you hear a girl say my pussy in that same with the same like
Enthusiasm.
Yeah. It's funny. It sounds funny to me, and so she was saying something about that, and then the guy who was there said, "Yeah, he, shit, I forgot. What did he say? He said that
It's something about someone being in the gig for 2 years. They don't know why they're still trying. Something like that.
Yeah. So a person who's been doing this for 2 years, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why they keep on trying. She just quit.
Right.
Which to me sounds like a person that's shit talking.
Yeah, he's saying that you've been trying for 2 years and you should just quit.
Yeah.
That is shit talking.
That's shit talking,
yeah.
right? So
There's no other way to describe that.
The other comic that was there though said, well, you can tell that sometimes when he's actually trying, and then you can tell sometimes where he's just bullshitting, and right now.
That's the definition of doing open mics.
Yeah, and not only that, but that's the definition of me.
Yeah, well, true,
Some
yeah.
nights I go just to shoot the shit. Some nights I actually want to work on something. Sometimes I just want to have fun.
Yeah.
And if I'm trying too hard on something.
Because you're a normal fucking person who doesn't.
So, yeah, that's exactly the same.
How tired do you get? Sorry, this is a sidebar, but it's related. How tired do you get of watching someone do the exact same 5 minutes every time you see them for years on it?
Very tired, dude.
Fucking tired as shit,
tired.
right? And how tired do you think that person is of their own routine? There are some that do it and they just can do it because I don't know, they're different. They're not normal. Yeah. But for the most part, like, all of us have nights where, and especially, I don't know how was the audience last night? Was the audience fucking...
So there was there was 2 lesbians, and then maybe like 3 or 4 comics.
So you should be fucking around.
Yeah.
You should be.
Yeah, I'm nice
like
that.
This isn't serious. This is fucking... You know what I did at DCH last night? I unzipped my pants, and then I went up and I told a couple jokes, and then the punchline to one of the jokes was that 23andMe told me I could read minds. And then I said, like, I'll tell you right now, that guy right there, he's thinking that he's trying to decide whether or not he should tell me that I fucking, that my zipper's undone. I did that shit on purpose. I wouldn't do that on a fucking... Do you think I would do that if I was opening for somebody? No, it's just a fucking... It's a funny, like, mix the crowd up, like open mic thing. Fuck that bitch. I would say don't even think about it. Like...
Well, like, the thing is, with me, okay, I want to know who that comic is. Because it is shit talking, and to me, and then
you don't know who the comic was?
No,
I missed something.
She can only tell by the voice.
Yeah.
She only heard them. She didn't look up to see which ones they were.
Oh, so it was a comic. I thought you were saying it was an audience member.
It was a
I was
comic.
thinking it was a fucking...
It was a comic that said...
I missed that.
Yeah. For a person who's been doing it for 2 years, she quit. Because the girl was sitting with 2 guys. I didn't know who the girl was, but I know everybody that was in the bar.
Yeah.
The girl I had never seen before, and Alana said that it kind of sounded like the guy was kind of saying that so he can, like, just have something common to say with the girl so you can get laid. Which to me is still a shitty ass thing. If you have to take somebody,
it's shitty.
If you have to put
it's worse,
down,
actually. I think.
Yeah, actually, I think
it's
worse.
kind of worse.
If
yeah.
you have to take somebody down just so that you can.
So you can feel special.
Yeah. Then you're fucking even a bigger asshole.
Yeah.
That one really aggravates me. But like, I want to find out who this person is because I need to say something because I'm not a person who.
They said shit laying down.
Yeah.
What do you think about?
And it's not like I want to start a fight, but I'm like, hey, if you're gonna talk shit, say it to me. But if I hear that person say anything about me again, I am gonna hit him.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hit him because I've already told him once. I just want to know who that person is.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what. Like, I know I'm not like the fucking on top level of a comic.
Right.
But I'm still a fucking man.
Yeah, and you can't have people talking shit behind your back if that person, and especially if you find out who it is and then you realize, okay, well that dude does roast me all the time or whatever. But that doesn't sound like a roast. It sounds like, by the way they were saying it, it was just like absolute not. He doesn't respect you. He doesn't fucking and I want to know who it is simply because I don't think there's anyone in this scene right now who can pretend like there wasn't a time where they struggled, you know? So like, fuck you. Who the fuck do you think you are to say...
Why do I have to live to this person's rules of what comedy is?
Yeah.
Because that's pretty much what it feels like to me. There's some people out there who love watching me go up. And
you'll be able to see the person and know who it was if you go to Mike's.
Yeah, I've started going recently.
Yeah, she started going with me, which is cool, and she's right, like, wow, she's one of the fucking coolest girlfriends. She asked me before, she's like, if she's going to the mics with me too much, is like getting to me, like if I need to separate myself from her,
right?
Spend too much time, and I told her like, no, because when we get there, I go do my thing. You're okay doing your thing.
That's been a journey that me and Devin went through that we should talk about after this. After the conversation about whoever the fuck was talking shit.
So, but like she'll do her thing, and she's realized that she likes to do short stories. So she'll do her short stories while she's sitting there. I'll come check on her every so often, ask her if she needs a drink, and then I'll do my thing. Oh shit, what was I getting at about that?
So, because I'm not constantly around you, they don't know my connection to you.
Whatever. You're just being silly.
Maybe.
No, I mean that's fair though. Like
They probably don't know who the
they
fuck I am.
didn't know who she was because she's not always around. Like if she was like Devin and she was there, I mean at least the first year that me and Devin were together, she was at every open mic. No one would have said shit around me because they would have known who Devin was.
Yeah.
But she's saying she was like a fucking silent operative, you know? She was like a secret squirrel.
She hears all this
The
stuff.
first time he was talking about her, wait, this is the second time I heard someone shit talk, and it sounded like the same person.
Really? Someone hating.
On someone. I don't know if it's Ruben in particular.
I guarantee that person is not a person who's successful. Because people who are successful don't give a fuck what people who aren't successful are doing. They're too busy dealing with their success. You know what I mean? So it's someone trying to put you down because they're feeling inadequate. It's someone insecure who is putting you down because... You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like...
I don't know, man, but when I find out...
Yeah. I would say when you find out, by the
Yeah,
way,
when
I would
out,
say when
I'm
you
gonna
find out, don't go hood on them. I would say don't start a fight.
I think I can keep myself.
I would say don't do
want
shit. I would say don't do anything for a week. I would say when you find out who that was that she overheard, don't do a fucking thing for 1 week. You have to give yourself a clock and say, for 1 week, I'm not going to do anything because your immediate man brain that says, I'm going to beat the fuck out of him will dissipate in 2.5 days,
Here's
right?
the hard part, though. The hard part is I'm going to have to see that person when I go to the mics. When I find out who that is, and let's just say I go to the mics and I see them, that's going to be the challenge.
I'm telling you, I'm challenging you. As a friend, I'm challenging you to see them 2 times without doing anything, right? Just be that silent fucking guardian. And if that person, there's very little chance. All right, but if that person happens to see this podcast and they're like, what if he knows now? What if he knows now? And then it's a fucking... And then a week later, maybe let him know that you know, and then either write a joke about him or fucking... I mean, you can beat his ass if after a week you decide that's the best course of action. But I would say in our game, in comedy, that's not the best course of action.
No, it is not.
Because how many fucking small dick insecure motherfuckers are there in our scene talking shit about other small dick insecure motherfuckers?
I don't know, man. I haven't really met anybody like that. I mean,
Yeah.
And even though I've been doing it for this long, I think that's a long time. 2 years to almost be doing it without hearing somebody badmouth somebody to the point where where you're like, man, that's kind of fucked up. What you're
Yeah.
doing.
It would hurt me to the core to hear that one of my friends was talking shit.
Yeah, see, that's one thing I'm worried about too. What if it's somebody who
What if
I
it-
thought was a friend?
That you've been fucking with, that you've, like,
Yeah,
you
just a
smoke
friend,
cigarettes
whatever.
with in
Yeah,
circles.
and like maybe a person I've even had on the podcast.
Yeah, that'd be fucked.
That would be fucked.
What about, how would you feel if you found out they were someone that's been doing it for so short of a time that
doesn't-
their way of making up for not getting laughs on stage is to attack people who have been doing it longer?
I think that the stage time doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
What matters is that if a person's gonna say that about comedy, they're still gonna say that about something else.
Yeah, they would do
So they're-
whatever their career
So that just
was.
shows
Yeah.
the kind of character they kind of have deep down, where they're okay with talking shit about somebody to other people.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't feel comfortable talking shit about somebody to other people.
Never.
No.
I talk shit about people. There's people I don't like. I guess what I'm saying is, like, if you were someone I didn't like, I might talk that shit, you know? To my closest friends, and I wouldn't have people in earshot that fucking... I like that's the difference. Is like, I might get with John Brown or Colton Jones or, like, one of my best friends and be like, I don't know why the fuck this dude does it in a car. with just the two of us. There wouldn't be silent operatives around to hear it,
Just
you
joking
know?
around.
Yeah. No, not just joking around. I would talk mad shit, but I would do it not so publicly. That's the part that pisses me off. It's like, who do you think you are to I don't know.
Criticizing other people's work.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
I'm curious about this. Keep me posted.
I will keep you posted. Figure out who it is, and then there's another person there too. So there's two comics there.
Yeah.
The thing is, I couldn't tell which the second guy was either defending the other comic, or it was the other guy backtracking on what he said before. But I think it was the other guy defending the other comic.
Yeah. Where was it? Fort Worth? Oh no, Twilight. You said it was at Twilight. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I've heard this dude say shit before at another time, but at the time I didn't remember.
You gotta take a screenshot of the list from last night. So you got 28 people, and next time you think it's somebody, you can say like it's not them. Like any detective novel ever, where they put pins in the board. Like, oh wait a second, he couldn't have been in Twilight on Tuesday because he was in wherever, you know.
Use my Batman skills. Turn the podcast wall into finding just one person. Be the elusive shadow man. But yeah, I don't think that's cool.
Yeah.
I don't think that's cool at all, man.
No.
And especially, but like I was gone for a while, and then I came back. Did you even notice I was gone for 2 months?
Yeah, man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I messaged you and you said you appreciated me messaging you.
I'm not sure, maybe.
I'll pull up the fucking. No, I'm not gonna do that. But keep going. Anyways.
So when I came back, I hadn't seen you when I came back.
Yeah.
And I was like super rusty. Like I just, I've only been back for what, 3 weeks, maybe 3 or 4 weeks. 4 weeks. Been back 4 weeks.
4. Yeah.
4. And the first 2.5 to almost 3, I was like just not getting anywhere. Like I wasn't connecting right. So it just
Sucking.
felt off.
Yeah.
And then recently I was like, you know what? I started just like not trying so hard. And like just go have fun. And then I'll go and I'll have a set, and it'll be a good set because I just have fun, whatever.
Yeah.
I feel great after it. So what I'm trying to say is that like I'm starting to feel a little bit more like my comedic self.
Yeah.
So I got the showcase coming up for Butch on the 8th. Are you gonna be in it? You gonna come by?
No. I'll start doing Butch Lord showcases again sometime, but I don't have any real friends. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you Butch will give you stage time though for those
Yeah.
people.
Yeah, probably. Those Red Room shows, I'm super duper down to get on those because they're so much fun. And when I'm ready to film a new 5-minute tape, then I'll scrape up enough. I'll drive Lyft for a day to get fucking 10 people or whatever to come. But yeah, right now I'm just like not super amped about trying to beg people to come to shows because I don't have anything new to work on. Like my most recent jokes, I'm in a rut on writing right now, you know, and I have like one joke from the last 2 or 3 months that I'm excited about, and everything else I'm like, fucking try this, who cares, you know what I mean? Because I'm thinking more along the lines of, this is a marathon, not a race, and I don't need to freak out every time I hit a writing block, you know? I'm trying to convince myself, like, hey, man, who gives a fuck what happened in your first 2 years of comedy? Like, you'll come up with other shit. 6 months down the road, you'll have your new inward bit. You know what I mean? Like the last good joke, the last joke that I was really excited about was that inward joke. And I feel like sometimes I get scared that that's the best joke I'll ever write. You know? What?
Do you think that? No, I'm saying like you're really scared that that'll be the best joke you've ever.
I get scared about it. Yeah, it's not scared in the sense that like I'm not afraid of that all the time. But 50%. I mean, I'm bipolar. You know that. Yeah. So 50% of the time, I say, Matt, what if the best joke you ever wrote was in your first year of comedy or second year of comedy, and you'll never overcome that joke. That'll be your best You know, people write specials. Tom Segura puts out a special every fucking year, dude. Like,
Yeah.
like Dave Chappelle put out 4 specials in the last 2 years. What am I, like? What the fuck? You think your best joke ever was in your second year of comedy? It scares me sometimes. You don't get those anxieties ever?
Not of that. Not of the writing process. My anxiety comes from, will I ever learn the issues that I have
Yeah.
with comedy? Will I ever learn those? Like, how to not... What was I told? I did a workshop and they told me that I tend to keep staring at the floor.
Little things like that.
Yeah, stuff like that. And I'm like, how do I keep myself from staring at the floor? And it's like, okay, I can look up.
You
at
stopped
other stuff.
playing with the rope. Do you remember when you first started and you were always playing with the cord?
Yeah.
You always like sling it over your back and then like
What
go like this. You don't remember that?
No.
I remember telling you at 10 Panther to stop doing that shit. Remember, it was like constant. It was like, dude, that is not a lasso. You gotta stop distracting the audience.
Oh man,
Like-
I do need to stop doing that.
Yeah.
I
I don't think you do it as much anymore.
I don't think I
Oh,
do.
really?
He used to have a tail too. You just swing it behind him.
Yeah.
Totally distracting.
Oh man, I don't remember you telling me not to stop doing that though.
I do.
Yeah.
But it's one of my biggest pet peeves. I tell a lot of people, so I feel like I put you in a category with a few other people. I mean, I name them just because it's not their fault that they fucking, you know.
For me, you know why I do that? Because I worry that I'm gonna step on it. Because I've done that.
That's such a bullshit excuse.
No, I do. I keep it
What
on
the
my
fuck?
way.
I'm afraid to step on it. You don't even walk around that much, dude. You pace like here to there. You can't.
I pace more. I know I pace a lot more. Because I have stepped on it before, though. At improv, I've stepped on it before.
Yeah.
Oh, whoops. But Hyenas doesn't have the cord. So.
What do you mean? Oh, Fort Worth Red Room.
Yeah, the
Red
doesn't
Room.
have the cord.
All 3 Hyenas showrooms, but most showrooms in the country have the cord just because it's what people grew up with and it's what they're used to. It's kind of weird to not have the cord.
I like not having the cord. I get to move my hands more. And I like to talk with my hands.
Yeah. I hate not having the cord.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know what it is. It's just like I might run my hand down the cord if I'm like feeling nervous or uncomfortable on stage. I hate not having it mostly because of the weight. It feels different when there's a fucking cord like running, and I'm only fucking 5'7", but whatever that like amount of gravity between 5'7" and the ground is where I'm holding the cord, you can feel it. And when that cord's not there, I feel like I'm holding a toy microphone. Like but I feel like I'm fucking speaking into a comb or something.
Yeah,
Like
very
it doesn't
light.
feel real.
Very light. I
Yeah.
noticed it's very light. I'm not sure if it's rechargeable or whatever, but whatever batteries they're using is pretty damn light.
Yeah.
Which is weird because you pick up a dildo.
I want them to weight it. If they weighted it, then maybe I would be okay with no cord. But I hate it. Just feels like I could just
fling it off your shoulders.
I don't know. Yeah.
Like get excited, just woo, shit.
If we didn't have cords in comedy, Eddie Murphy never would have been able to do his dick joke. You know what I mean? Like slinging it around. Like I just think the cord is a tradition. Maybe that's stupid and weird, but I like the cord.
You're what is called a naturalist.
A traditionalist, yeah, yeah.
I could deal with either one. Doesn't matter. I just need to get used to not picking up the rope.
Yeah.
Use my hands to talk and drink, so.
Do you prefer lights in your eyes blinding you on stage or no lights?
It depends. I do. It does help to not just look at one person and just focus on that person. Because if I can't see faces, then I can just keep scanning around the room.
Right.
But then again, sometimes after a while, it does get to you.
Yeah, I think my theory on this is that it depends on what you started with.
Yeah.
Like DCH nerds, I'm gonna stop calling them that soon because I really like DCH now. But the people who only do DCH, I call DCH nerds. The people who only do DCH and they only do the mics that people who started at DCH run. You know what I mean? those people seem to loathe bar mics because they can see everyone's faces, and their reaction is like, oh my god, I can tell what they're thinking, so I can't just go into my prepared, rehearsed, but people like me or most of the Denton crowd. I mean, Tony Casillas has even told me, I mean, I guess I don't want to speak for him, but Tony Casillas has told me before, he loves clubs, and I love clubs, don't get me wrong, but he hates the fact that he can't see the audience. You have to go like this in order to see the audience, and it annoys me because when your first fucking 50 or whatever mics are at bars before you ever go to a club, you get in the habit of watching people's faces, and then when you write a new joke where you're excited because you think this joke has legs, and you get to see it on the people's faces in the front row, and you're like, oh shit, this bitch does have legs, and then you get a little bit of confidence, and you start speaking with the confidence that is being reflected off of the faces of the people in the front of the audience.
I've never thought about that way.
I think it's if you start in a club, then you don't want to see people's faces because that's what you got used to. You got used to just hearing, but if you start in a bar, you want to be able to see there. And there's no fucking, the only Butch Lord is the only one who's figured out that if you put on sunglasses, then you get the best of both worlds because you can see their faces, and you're the only one in the club who can see their faces. Everyone before you couldn't. Everyone after you couldn't. You don't have to go like this.
Oh, smart.
Yeah.
I see.
But that's not the only reason he does it. You know, he has had he's worn tinted glasses since he was 8 years old.
Really?
Yeah.
Ihad?
He can't afford to get, okay, I shouldn't say he can't afford. I shouldn't be airing his laundry like that, but for whatever reason, he doesn't get prescription glasses. He has terrible vision, and light gives him headaches. He doesn't just wear, I mean, when he was living with me for 6 months, we were best friends. I'd see him in his fucking underwear, and he'd have fucking sunglasses on.
You thought that guy just loves the trend.
It's not about the sunglasses. It's about the fact that he has a legitimate sensitivity to light, and
he has a medical reason to wear them.
in a club, putting floodlights in your face multiplies that by 1,000. If the dude doesn't even want to be in a house at, noon or whatever without his glasses, I've seen him without glasses plenty of times. It's not like he was keeping the illusion that Bush Lord always has sunglasses on. It's more just the fact that, that's how he feels comfortable, and he gets horrible headaches when he doesn't have them on, So.
I was thinking about doing, trying out comedy with glasses on.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think one of the things that makes me nervous is the fact that people can see my eyes. I know they can. And I don't know why that's a fear of mine. I don't know if other comics have it too. But I've also wanted to try comedy without my glasses.
Yeah.
So I can't see anybody. So it's like, if I can't see nobody...
Yeah, that's interesting.
If I can't see nobody, then their reaction can't really bother me.
It's the same as having floodlights in your eyes and blinding you. If you literally can't see them,
Yeah, so I'm going to see if I can try doing that, see if it helps any kind of fear I might have, and then see if I can wean myself off of that fear.
Right. It's interesting. You should try it. Why wouldn't you try it? I mean, we're in the trying phase of our...
Well, I mean, apparently we get judged for trying nowadays.
Fuck that, dude. Do not let that affect you too much.
A lot of things I don't. This one might be a little harder.
Because you don't know who it is?
No, because of who it might be. Because it might be somebody who actually...
You suspect a couple people, don't you? You got a couple people in your mind that you're like, I bet it was that motherfucker. Alana, can you grab me a beer? Just any kind.
Any kind?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, my assistant. My wonderful assistant. I know I wasn't going to check my phone, but I just needed to look real quick.
So you don't have people that you suspect or worry it was them?
Do I have any... See, that's the thing. If I just start naming people, they're going to be like, dude, you blah, blah, blah.
That one. Thank you.
Something like that. I don't know. Okay, here's who. Let's just say who I don't think it was. All right.
Yeah.
I don't think it was Anthony Fink. I don't think it was Jeff the Word. I don't think it was.
There were probably fucking 25 people on that list.
I don't. Yeah, well, yeah, but this was towards the end. It was like the last 4 people going up. I was 23 or 22, and there was like 3 more people after me. So it's dying down. And then it wasn't Cortez, it wasn't Micah, it wasn't Jordan Black. I mean Jordan Mack.
That's a funny distinction, though, right? Like, it wasn't Jordan Black. Oh wait, no. I mean, maybe it was him, but it wasn't Jordan Mack.
So that leaves me to think. I don't think it was Andrew Barton because I think he was actually on stage. And I was talking to these 2 new comics who are fairly new to the scene, and they're kind of silly. They're kind of like really hipsters. At least in my eyes, they are. But then again, you know, who am I to define what a hipster is? And the guy's been doing it for like 7 months, and the chick's been doing it for 3 months. And
We were just talking about you.
yeah,
Get in here. Come on. Butch, come here. Come here.
Hold on, wait a minute. What are
You guys talk real quick. I'm gonna go get some drink.
Oh, what a
What was y'all
convenient
talking about?
excuse.
What do you mean? What
I was talking about your glasses. I was talking about here. See that screen right there. Get there so they can see you. Come here, closer to me.
There we go.
There you go. But
What's
yeah,
up,
no,
man?
we were just talking about sunglasses. It had come up. We were talking about the difference between wearing, or not wearing sunglasses. Hold on. We were talking about how some people like to be blinded by floodlights, like in the
So
club.
they don't have to see the audience?
Exactly.
Right.
And then we were talking about how some people like to be able to see the audience's faces, and I was saying, or there's people like Butch who have figured it out, and they just fucking wear sunglasses on stage.
Right.
And then we got on topic. I was telling him what you told me in the past, that like you have a legitimate sensitivity to light.
Yeah, I
and
get
since you
freaking
were a
headaches.
kid, you fucking
Yeah.
got headaches, and they were fucking prescribing you tinted glasses.
Yeah,
like,
so so it works for me as far as that goes. And like I said, it was never anything. I always said to him, it was never cool. You know what I mean?
It's never about trying to be cool.
never
people
cool,
were making
right.
fun of him for having
Right,
tinted fucking
right.
glasses.
Oh yeah,
Because I was a
people
dorkalope,
say it all
man,
the
so I
time.
look like an idiot, right?
People make snarky remarks when they're like, "Oh, we're indoors, Butch."
Right.
It's like-
It still doesn't end, right? It still doesn't end.
Yeah.
So, but definitely, it's cheaper than Visine. So fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Well, now I
there's
know
that.
now I know the perfect gift to give you for Christmas, man.
Absolutely.
A couple different sunglasses.
Couple
man.
different
Some
sunglasses,
man.
some blue tint, man. So I
Yeah,
can,
some
yeah,
crazy-
some blue
some-
tint. that I
But
can-
you are kind of particular about them. You got some sunglasses you can't stand. There's a pair of
Right.
sunglasses. I think it's probably still in
Still
my
in his side
fucking.
door.
It was emergency glasses. If you walked out of the house and forgot glasses, it's like fuck. I gotta wear the
I
emergency
gotta pull the
glasses.
emergency glasses out of the side pocket
You
of his
gotta
door.
have a
right?
certain one, man. Just like you gotta have an emergency lighter,
And
an emergency.
All my
Yeah.
glasses, like, cause I lose them or break them so easily, cause I'm an idiot, right? So I won't pay you can get them really nice pair for like $100. But why would I do that? 'Cause I'm gonna sit on them, 3
Yeah.
weeks later and be like,
if you go through glasses that quickly, it's better just to get the ones from the gas
I just get them to gas station,
Yeah.
man.
Or
Like
fucking Trader's Village, man.
these
Trader's
were
Village
these
has
were
cheaper glasses.
like promo to the bartenders from Tito's from their Tito's rep. You know, these are like Tito's glasses. It's like, well, yeah, I'll take those. That's my prescription, man. What's up? Dark.
We're also talking about. Are you gonna go?
Oh no, go ahead. I'll sit here.
You gotta go, man.
No, I was actually on
Oh,
the way
yeah,
to get a
fucking
soda
hang
real
out.
quick, and I'll hang out, man.
Go
We'll
grab
get a soda.
Go get a soda. We'll keep
Sorry.
talking. But like,
You forgot where you were.
yeah. So, but like he was telling us about your trips that he went on to over there in where Atlanta.
No, Arizona, Tucson, Arizona, San Diego, Jamestown, New York, Shreveport, Louisiana, and then Las Vegas.
Yeah, that was a bunch of road gigs, man. It was a lot of fun.
We had a blast,
We
man.
burned up
Like,
a bunch of miles, man. He went to a lot of places.
Yeah.
It was great.
None of them
experience,
by
man.
the way, and I told you this before, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you on camera.
Right.
I will never forget the experiences I had with you, and I really appreciate you for giving all of them to me. You
Oh
know what I
no,
mean?
That's cool,
absolutely. And I knew that they were. I know that these things are valuable at any part of your career, at any point in your career. You know, these are always valuable until you're like you know, somebody like Dice Clay was like, screw you. I'm not going to Rusty Ankle. I won't even come there unless they give me 10 grand cash when I walk in the door, dude. And that's a nice place.
Well, I mean, he still likes to go to smaller venue clubs, right?
No.
How
No.
nice does it?
Well, I mean, he'll go to, by smaller venue, you mean he loves
Hyenas is small to
experience.
him.
But that's as
Like-
small as it gets, and Hyenas is a top-of-the-line club. You know, that's
Yeah.
as good as a
Yeah.
club can be. So, you know.
Yeah, I hear Greg Fitzsimmons is coming. I really want to go see that show.
Who's coming?
Greg Fitzsimmons.
Oh, yeah, that guy.
I've heard that name a lot. I have no idea who that is, though.
I was acting like I did, but I don't either. I smoke a
We're
lot.
like talking shit about headlining comedians.
I smoke a lot of
Fuck
pot,
that
dude,
guy.
and I don't pay attention. No, I'm not talking any shit because
Oh,
he's probably
man.
hilarious. I know that I tell people in the general public this, and it's true from my own experience as well.
Yeah.
Go look at the Hyenas website, and you'll know quite a few names on there. Even if you're not much of, you know, if you're not a real comedy enthusiast, you'll
Yeah.
still
Yeah,
recognize
it's
names.
recognize some of the names, but
The ones you don't know will be as funny or funnier than the ones you know.
yeah, because those
And
are
so,
grinders.
you're right. There
They're
are
the
people
ones
that
that
you
are
don't
grinding
know.
right
They're
now.
out there amongst them. You haven't heard of them yet. Yeah, and this cat could be that very thing. I would assume he is. You're talking about he's coming to Hyenas? Or is he coming to the Improv? Because then I'm
No,
like...
no, he's coming behind you.
Oh, okay, all right.
Plano.
Because when he's coming to the Improv, I'm not going to vouch.
He's going to Dallas and Plano.
That's cool.
But if he's coming here, I can vouch.
So I'm gonna go watch him.
I remember drunkenly one night at Randy's house pitching Ryan Stout to him because I had told you at some point, like, my favorite comedian in the world is Ryan Stout. I think the best comedy album of all time is Touché by Ryan Stout, you know? And no one's fucking heard of him. And you were like, I wonder if Randy's heard of him. You should tell him about him. And then, like, 2 days later, we were at, like, a pool party at his house or something. And I'm drunk as shit. And I'm like, listen, you got a book, Ryan Stout. And Randy's probably looking at me like, listen, motherfucker. I'll tell you who I need to book. You need to sit down. Like,
You know what's funny, though?
What's up?
What's cool about Randy and how he does that, though, he is not afraid to hear from the young comics. Because how the hell do you think he hears, too?
yeah.
From the young comics around him. He asks them point blank, who do you guys hear about? And he's not stupid. You guys are watching more stuff than he is.
Right.
And that's good. That's smart. That's
We're his
freaking genius.
screeners.
And then he just goes and pitches him, and it only takes him a second to hear from the other side of the business what their reputation is on that side of the business, and then very quickly he makes a decision. You know, I mean, that's he gets to look at it from both sides, but he'll get the names from the young comics because he's freaking smart like that.
Yeah.
That's where you get that. That's who's paying attention. And watch, the longer you're doing comedy, man, you can't get a new name out of like somebody who's been in it about 3 years now, and they're really into it because they're just not looking around anymore.
And we stop exactly.
Yeah,
Once,
you stop looking around.
I say this all the time. People are like, "Oh my God, so you do comedy? Who's your favorite comedian? Who are the comedians I have to look to?" It's like, dude, I don't watch comedy anymore. I stopped watching comedy the second I started doing fucking 10 mics a week.
Yep.
Because when I get home, all I want to do is like fuck my girlfriend and sleep. Like I don't have time to fucking. I haven't even watched the new Chappelle special. I watched like the first 10 minutes of it, and then got distracted and something else happened.
It becomes
fucking.
really
I haven't watched
hard.
the new Aziz Ansari special. I haven't watched any new specials, and I used to be obsessed. It used to be that as soon as a new special came out, I was like, I gotta have a fucking way to weigh in on this. And now it's like, dude, I do comedy. Comedy absorbs at least fucking 10 hours of my life, and that's only counting the time that I'm at open mics. A week.
A week,
You
right.
know? I don't have another hour and a half for...
To burn on some kind of a show like that, right?
Yeah.
That's the thing is, plus you'll begin to just get your comedy from the clubs, and that's enough. You know, you've had it up to here with it, and if you're lucky and you're out there and amongst them, once you guys are rolling and touring like features and up, you're seeing. You know, look at Lawrence and Tony and these guys out on these feature dates playing the Looney Bands in Houston and
Right.
such, and getting out there amongst them yourself and all these places. You go to these other places and you're seeing other comedians, and you're like, wow, man, look, just like when you come into, anybody who comes from any other market to DFW, they're blown away by how deep the talent pool is here.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, there's funny comics out there at all levels, at all times, you know. So there's a new Chappelle out there right now who's an open micer. And there's a new Chappelle out there right now who's a MC, and there's one who's a feature, and yeah. and so on.
And in 10 years, you'll have fucking
A new
a special on Netflix.
right. And you
Yeah,
won't
what
watch
they
it. And none of us will watch
So
it.
by then I will have quit, and I'll be
Yeah,
watching all the specials
And
again.
then you'll be retired and you will watch it.
Yeah, I was telling Matt about when I went to Denver and I did an open mic over there and how it felt to do, comedy in front of a whole new crowd. I did 15 minutes out there, and yeah, it's fucking cool, man. It was way amazing to do comedy in front of all new people.
A new stage.
Not have to worry about, like I was telling Matt, not to worry about my old jokes being repetitive.
Sure.
People never heard any of it.
It's
I-
beautiful, and you don't have to leave the state to do that. You can go to Austin, you can go to Houston, you can go to San Antonio, and that's one of my biggest, goddamn, I hate when I say, when I give advice to new comics, because it makes me feel like I'm trying to pedestal myself to say, like, I'm the one who should be giving advice. But honestly, some of my best experiences in comedy, most of my best experiences in comedy have not been in the DFW. They've been
on
in
the road.
Austin or Houston or with him around the fucking country. They've been,
Other stages, new stages. And new stages are great for you guys. You grow the most on a new stage because, again, like you said, there becomes this thing in your own market where you feel like, because we have so many of our open mics are predominantly comedians in the audience, and even if it's not, we still feel that way.
Yeah.
We feel that way doing a pro show with our guys in the room. If there's like 6 guys in the room,
Right.
like, oh no, all the guys are here. You're gonna hate my shit. This is the stuff that they've been. You get tired of your own stuff, but when you can go out to a free place and unleash that beast, and nobody's seen it, you're like, this is awesome. I got something for you. I got something for you.
Your oldest ringer will
Right.
hit 10 times harder.
Yeah, the fun thing was that, like, I was the only comic there. The rest were just people who were doing music.
Oh wow, music open mic.
Yeah.
Oh
music
cool.
Open mic, and I asked the guy.
I love those.
Yeah, I asked the guy if I could do comedy.
That's why you got to do 15. That makes sense.
Right, because
And then-
musicians laugh
and
at
then,
comics with
yeah.
their own
When I
man
got off stage, the dude was all like, the DJ was like, man, that was really funny. He shook my hand and everything, dabbed me and whatnot, and just like told me how really funny it was. And I was like, really? Because usually that's crap wherever I'm from.
Most people be like, dang, that sucks.
So I was like, man, it's pretty cool. I want to go on the road more. The only problem is, fucking most open mics aren't on the weekend. So it's like, how do I figure this out to where I can go on the road? And
What do you do, Rudy? I have
I
no
work in a
idea what you do.
warehouse, Monday through Friday, man. 8 to 5 type
Yeah.
of job.
Do you ever ask someone a question and then they tell you the answer, and you're like, I've heard that answer at least 6 times. At this point, I'm just a piece of shit for not remembering.
Yeah, man, I think I've told you every episode. You've been on here twice. I'm pretty sure I told him each
Every
time.
episode.
You know what? I can look it up. We'll go
That's
through. I'll go
awesome.
through the episode and find it. Look. Now we're
You
gonna
get
have a third
PTO
one.
though? I mean, can you take PTO?
Oh, of course. Right now, I don't have any though, because I used it all, and of course, I went to Denver. But I have one more day. But like starting September, or no, sorry. Starting the new year, I'll get all my PTO back is just 2 weeks. So
Yeah.
I've
Well,
never
I
had
should start
jobs, so I
doing
don't know what PTO is.
Paid
Yeah.
time off.
It's a good thing, man. I wish I was.
No,
I wish
paid
I had
time
that.
off.
That
That's when I'm not gigging. That's paid time off. Oh yeah, when I'm not. When I don't have a gig.
I've only had 2 legitimate jobs: the Army and Home Depot. I worked at Home Depot for 6 months, so I've
Oh no shit.
Yeah, but
never had another
isn't
fucking legitimate
The
job.
Army's a pretty big one though.
Yeah,
I wrote articles for people, but like they didn't have fucking benefits for me. It was like we need you to do an SEO article. Here you go. They were like, here's $60. It was almost under the table. In fact, technically, I mean, hola DEA, I mean hola IRS, but like I didn't
Damn.
report any of the shit I did for that like search engine optimization company on taxes because
I thought they would make you do it.
no,
It's the
because
Army,
it's all fucking writing is freelance. Journalism in general is like, journalism is a strong word. I wasn't a fucking journalist, but I was slaving away writing articles for them.
Were you like a blogger?
Like a blogger, right?
Yeah, but all that shit is like, I think you're supposed to do like a 1099, but I didn't. You know, like
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know, but this is my last year. if certain things don't happen the way I would like them to happen within this year and maybe by next summer, I'm just gonna drop everything and just go to LA.
Oh, nice.
Really?
Yeah, I'm just gonna drop everything and move to LA.
To do it
How
for
many-
the comedy? Going
I'm-
for the comedy?
Oh yeah.
I'm so terrified of that, dude.
I gotta tell you.
I know.
That's a leap.
I
I'm
know.
proud of you for
I
taking
know.
that leap.
But you know what? I feel like
this city has so many opportunities for comics.
it does.
Why
but I'm
move?
still here. I'm still around everything. I need a change.
Well,
Yeah.
the only thing
Yeah.
I say for all you cats about going out there is definitely you got to get to a certain level of funny before you go, and that level of funny is make sure you're already at least a working MC, because then you jump through all the hoops that it takes to move that obstacle and get that title, which is a working MC, dude. If you're a working MC,
Yeah.
you can take that anywhere. And at least if you went to LA and you're slaving away at doing mics and trying to get something going on, you also can be like doing these satellite shows and hey, I can MC for these clubs out here that are all in the valley and these one
So
shows.
what you're
and
telling
shit.
me is my next goal is to become an MC.
You guys gotta get at least that
should be
far.
all of our
and
first
all
goals.
y'all should be a really,
I'm not an
all
MC,
y'all
I
should
hear
be
you.
a really good MC trying to feature before you go there. Reason why is because your amount of time that you need to feature, about a half hour, should have a little more to be a really
Shit.
strong feature.
Dude, I gotta get new deodorant. Sorry. I just looked at the camera for a second. Look at that shit.
Are you hot?
No, it's not even that I'm hot.
It's that talk of
It's
jobs.
alcohol.
I just bought new. I bought new.
Talk of jobs in the
I
IRS,
bought new
you know.
deodorant 2 days ago, and it is not the one for me. That's all I'm
It-
saying.
it's Gel.
Yeah.
You
I'm
gotta-
taking
you
a
gotta
smoke
get the
break. Then I'm gonna have a cigarette.
try. Okay. How long do you think he's been telling that corny joke for? Oh, shit.
It was just awful timing for me because I had to pee, so I was like, "Oh, we'll leave Butch here to talk to you for a second while I pee," and then
Yeah.
he said that before.
Do you have to pee?
Kind of.
Anyways, let's talk about you going to LA. What's the fucking
What's the rush?
yeah, what's the rush? That's a good way to put it.
All right, here's what's happening.
And what's so magical about LA? Why LA?
Well, okay, why LA? Because I feel like,
Opportunity on open mic.
well, there's more. I feel like I know there's gonna be more open mics, more opportunities to hit more mics, and then also I can't be homeless in New York because of how crappy the weather is.
And how cold it is. Yeah.
But I can be homeless.
And you have to fucking pay for a lot
But
of
I can be
shit in
homeless
New York.
in
All
LA.
of our friends that moved to New York, they pay for mics.
Yeah.
They pay $5. I mean, we may pay $5 to park for a mic,
Yeah.
but we're not paying to go up. You know.
Yeah. No, we're not.
I agree.
So-
New York is not the move right now.
Yeah, I
New
would
York
agree.
is actively trying to get people to not move there.
Is that what they're doing? God
I
damn.
mean, I'm saying that. I don't think that there's a coalition of New York open mics where they're like, all right, motherfuckers, let's get together and decide a price where we can keep these Texas mofos around. You know?
Joseph Rosenzweig recently moved.
Yeah.
I hear he's doing pretty good though.
Is he? Yeah, that's
Yes.
great.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
You said that like you had something to say though. You're like, yeah. Was that yeah?
I wish the best for him.
I think from what he said, which I should probably text him every so often, man. That motherfucker. From what he said, he was talking to somebody about for a production, for a film production, because they reviewed all his stuff that he had already gone through. Tom Murphy told me, and him and Tom were really cool, really close friends since like high school, I think.
Yeah.
And but he said that yeah, he's got some project coming on where and he's creating like 30 mics a day.
Yeah.
So I mean, he's loving it, I guess.
That's
I should
dope.
hit him up. But okay, so what were the questions again? Did I answer that one about New York? I mean about LA. Why LA?
Yeah, why LA? Yeah, he did.
And
Yeah.
as far as what's going on about why I want to do that, because I'm starting to feel like I'm getting my world's kind of in what do you call it, imploding a little bit on me.
All right, can I say something? I don't want you to get mad at me.
What?
Can I say something about the fact that you're wanting to move to a new city to do comedy. But how many mics a week do you do on average? Be honest.
What, like 7?
You do 7 on average? I don't see you at 7 mics.
I think so.
Okay.
Cause okay, there's Monday, right? Monday is.
7's good. 7's a good number, and it takes away from what I was gonna say. What I was gonna say, I was thinking you were gonna say 3.
No. I do 2 Monday. I usually do 1 on today. Tuesday I'll go do Gretchen's.
Yeah.
Well, no, on Tuesday's fucking Twilight.
Yeah.
Twilight. If I can do.
Arlington Improv too.
Yeah, I used to go to Arlington Improv, but they stopped that recently. But
Yeah.
if I can do Twilight, I'll go to Dallas for. What did I go last time for? Nah, we'll say I just don't go. If I don't go to Twilight. And then Wednesday tonight, I'm gonna try to go see if I can be on Gretchen's.
Yeah.
And then Thursday is.
You're not gonna go to Hyenas?
No, I don't. I told you I don't get there on time. Maybe now I can go and see if I can get on the list.
I think the most important mics every week are not like. No offense to Gretchen, I think Gretchen does great things to the comedy scene. I think Gretchen is awesome that she puts in as much work as she does. All right, now I got the disclaimer out of the way. The most important mics of the week are all the club mics. No one gives a fuck if you do. Like, I do Wine Squared all the time because it's right next to my house.
Yeah.
And I love Michael Reed. I get to go support that mic. And then sometimes I do Killers in Denton. Sometimes I do Bearded Monk. I do Dusty's almost all the time, actually, just because it's late.
Yeah, I like Dusty's too. I haven't gone. I didn't go last Sunday, but I've been there.
John Brown runs Dusty's, and John Brown is one of my best friends in the world. So I fucking go there to support his mic. But I don't think of any of those mics as, like, this matters. I think of those mics as, like, let me try my new bits. And then I go to, I like Tuesday I do GCH, and hopefully they'll keep allowing me to do that. And then Wednesday I do Dallas every Wednesday. Thursday I do Fort Worth every Thursday. Friday I do Plano every Friday. Just the club mics are the only important mics when you get right down to it, because Gretchen is awesome, don't get me wrong, but there's nobody at that mic that's going to make you. That's where you practice your shit. That's where you tone your skills to take them to a club mic. And I was surprised when you said that you were doing 7 a week, so I take back what I was going to say. But
what were you gonna say?
Well, and I'm gonna say it to someone who might watch this podcast that looks up to you, or looks up to me, or looks up to somebody, and say that if you think moving to LA is the next move because you're only doing 3 mics a week and none of them are club mics, and you still haven't been able to open for a club, then, and it doesn't go towards you because you're doing 7 a week, but I would say fucking we have just as much, and we don't have just as much. You're right that LA has more to offer. For sure, LA has more to offer, but we have a fuckload to offer.
Oh no, there's a lot of mics here.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, my record here is 16. I did 16 mics here in 1 week. Like, so if you're just trying to get stage time, that's not your argument for why you should move to LA, you know? And the reason I don't want to move to LA until I'm featuring here is because I think it's worth it to learn and become a big fish in this quote-unquote small pond. This is not a small pond. If you compare this city to fucking... I did Wichita Falls recently, right?
Yeah.
They have 2 decent comedians, and then I followed 14 fucking people. They were like, this is, you're gonna headline, you can do 20 plus. And I followed 14 people, and 12 of those people were just going for shock and awe. Like, love them, like, nice people,
Yeah.
but they weren't fucking funny. And their next move needs to be Dallas. And then after Dallas, they can go to LA. But why would I want to move to LA when I'm not even featuring here? If I haven't even proven myself as a comedian here in Dallas, why the fuck would I think LA has something to offer me? Like,
I have to sit back down just to put the final spin on it. His comment right there.
oh, sorry, did I piss you off, Butch?
No. The final spin on that. The final spin on that comment is exactly what he was saying. It's exactly what I was telling you. Become a comedian in this great freaking market that you guys are in. This is one of the best in the fucking country, okay? This isn't just a small pond. It's a freaking big ass lake. It's one of the Great Lakes, and it's one of the freaking badass places to start from. And if you can master this and raise up through that crop of comics out there, and there's a badass group of comics out here.
Yeah, there is.
If you can raise up in this and become one of them dudes who can work for us, that means you've put together that part of it. You've become a fucking comic, man. And if you can't do that here, what the fuck makes you think you can do it out here, right?
Yeah.
You've got to be able to do it here, and to be able to rise up here is saying a whole fucking lot, dude. That's when you know you're a player, dude.
And our cost of living's lower. Sorry.
Yes. There's that.
I mean, like why the
There's
fuck
that.
would you want to go do this
And your
over there?
and
I
the
mean, they have better
opportunities-
weather. But.
The opportunities for you guys here to begin working are matched hardly nowhere, man, and certainly not in New York and LA. The opportunities to start working and getting those feature sets and stuff. You can't do that. The opportunities in any other of the major markets, man, with the exception of Chicago, there's no other place that you can get this much work all the time. This is pretty much the biggest market in the country. Phoenix has a lot of clubs and opportunities in it, and it's big, but it's big like the Metroplex. It's got different
I want to pee
cities.
real quick.
Phoenix,
You know.
Arizona.
Yeah, there's a lot of cities in Phoenix. It's not just Phoenix. You
My
know.
kids are over there.
Oh, your kids are there?
Yeah, they're in Mesa.
Oh yeah, I used to live in
It's
Mesa.
like right
I know right where that is. I lived there once.
Yeah. So okay.
So my point was become a comic in this great opportunity that you guys have right here. You guys are the luckiest comics in the country. You guys are here in the Metroplex with the opportunity to become a player in this market. Do not dismiss that. That is huge, dude. And to become that guy, you know, when you raise up, look what it does for guys, man, as they start to get up there and you watch guys start taking off on a level that's a whole other thing, you know? And at least get there, you know? At least get yourself there, because then you're ready. Because if you go out to LA, you don't want to get on stage and be like, pow, 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 click, 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 click,
Yeah.
click.
Just
Oh,
run out of
man.
steam, man.
You want to be out there, pow, pow, brr, brr, you know? You gotta have fucking ammo when you go there, dude.
Yeah.
You want to have a bunch of shit, man, and you gotta have all the tools in the tool belt, man, to be able to rise above that fucking crew, you know. And then you gotta rise up through there, and it's that way everywhere you go. So that's next for you cats. Butch
So-
out.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to wait till Matt comes back, or just finish off with that.
Right? That's a closer. Fuck! I thought I nailed a closer. I was trying to nail
I mean,
a post. You
yeah,
know,
I mean, it's a
I'm an
closer,
old
dude.
radio guy.
Well, okay, how about
That was
this?
me
How
nailing
about
the
this?
post.
When
Yeah.
I do the video,
Uh-huh.
I'll stop it with you right there,
On
and
the
then I'll
nail
bring it
post.
back with you're gone.
Right,
I'll
right.
edit it
I'm gone.
down.
Just edit
I'll
that out.
it down. And
Boom,
then-
he disappeared.
And then this part could be like where you magically, like an extra part if somebody wants to pay for
Yeah,
the
bonus footage,
Patreon.
right? Bonus footage. Bonus footage.
Are you going for a cig, Matt?
I think he
Yeah.
is.
Oh man,
Get back for a cigarette.
I want a cigarette too, man.
Well, I guess it's break time. How about you? Nail the post.
Yeah, go ahead. I'll sit here and I'll talk to the Odyssey.
We're gonna you got to keep talking to the. Oh, cause you're live feeding.
Yeah, I'm live feeding.
Oh, holy macaroni, man! All right, well, hell.
Okay, here's what I my input on the whole LA thing, and it's not because I do want to do like what you said, the whole comic thing, but like I feel like while I'm here, I feel that I'm kind of too cushioned.
Cushioned.
Yeah, like life is too cushiony for me right now.
That you're not struggling hard enough.
Yeah, and I seem to thrive more
When you're
when I'm
struggling.
forced to do it.
To put it down, right?
And right now, like I have a house, I have a girlfriend, she has her place, I have a job, you know. I'm not okay. It's like when you come back from war and you're just like chilling and you're like, I want to.
I want to get back out. There's nothing to motivate me here. Right, right.
That's where I'm at right now. I feel like I'm
Feel
pushing.
like
and I do the open mics and I do comedy, and yeah,
But nothing's
part's
pushing
awesome,
you
but
to
there's
do
like,
anything better. Nothing's pushing you to no drive in there, because you don't feel like you got too good a thing going on.
Because there's
Yeah,
cushioning,
it's
man.
too cushiony.
I don't want that cushioning. And so in my mind it's like, well, what better way to gain something back in that drive again is to put yourself in a whole new situation.
Yeah.
Where you're starting over with nothing pretty much.
That'll do it.
And it's like fucking you got nothing going on.
That
fucking
will
do something about
that
it.
will give you the drive. You could probably
Oh, just kidding. I'm gonna grab another beer.
that would probably. I mean, you can achieve that here.
Yeah.
I really think you can achieve that because it's more of a state of mind for you. I think you. I know. I get it.
Yeah.
I do get it. And I'm the same way all the time too. I like to need to be, something needs to be lighting a fire under my ass too.
Just like when there's distractions.
That's all of us.
With like my family here.
Yeah.
And then.
That's a fair point. I've thought about that. Sorry, I
And it's
jumped
too
right
cushy.
into that.
No, you jumped right back in. He needs distractions.
So I don't know. I need to get rid of the distractions.
No, yeah, he needs the opposite of that.
Yeah.
I get that part. I understand.
That's why I feel like moving to LA would benefit me because, like I was telling Butch, I feel cushioned here.
But you don't think a lot of their showcases are bringer showcases too? I mean, I struggle with bringer showcases because when I left for the army, I fucking divorced everyone I was friends with and stopped talking to them.
Yeah.
And then when I came back, 8, 10 years, 9 years later, because like when I got out of the army, I went to Austin.
Yeah.
And when I came here from Austin, I mean, I was trying to convince people that I hadn't talked to in 10 years to come to my shows. I don't have a job. I don't have co-workers that I can I don't go to church. I don't have church people I can bring to bringer showcases. I mean, a lot of comedy runs on how many tickets can you sell? And if you think that you can sell tickets here, I guess what I should say is, for me, if I can't sell tickets here, then in California, I'm going to have an even harder time. It's not even... I didn't even know them 10 years ago. I don't fucking... What am I going to drive for Lyft and beg everyone to buy tickets to my show? You know?
You give a right to buy a ticket. Get a Lyft with me and I'll give you free ticket to this thing because I have to pay for it.
Yeah. It's a pipe dream that everyone has. Everyone says California is where dreams go to die or whatever. And like when they say that, they're talking about actors and actresses. But for comedy, in my opinion, I mean, Daniel Magden's doing it out there. Luke Moore's in San Francisco, which I love Luke Moore, but I didn't understand that. Like, why would you move? Like, him and his girlfriend decided to move to San Francisco because they thought it was a beautiful city and that's where they could. And he's doing things out there comedy-wise. It took him a year to do it. He's doing it, though. Like, he's getting shows, he's getting this, and he's getting that. But my thing is just, like, why would you leave? We're lucky enough to be grown up around here, to have lived around here, where there's one of the best comedy scenes in the country. No, it's not the best. No, it's not Chicago. No, it's not Los Angeles or New York. But it's fucking great. So, like, I'm not going to leave here until I think I've exhausted all of the potential here. And I'm 2 years into comedy and I still haven't opened for Hyenas or any club for that matter. But I don't think that fucking moving away is the best. I gotta keep chipping away at them until they keep telling me, well, okay, never mind. They have said or implied that I need to slow down on the drinking. And I'm like, all right, but we're 2 years in. Like, can I fucking just do this for a while, and then maybe 4 years in, I'll take a break, you know? I mean, I'm like, I'm having fun, dude. This is what I love doing, you know?
Yeah, it is a lot of fun, man.
Yeah.
And that's why I keep doing it because it's amazingly fun.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for that, then there'd be no reason for me to do it. Which is why, like we were talking about way in the beginning, why we every once in a while I just need that just fuck around mic. Where it's just like I'm just gonna go up there and have a good time.
Yeah.
Because if I keep doing ones where I'm always trying to work on something,
Right.
it starts becoming work, and then I need a reminder why it's fun. Reminder of where the fun is. It's not just work. You can also have fun while you're doing this.
For real.
And
That's why I love living in Denton, by the way. And I need a new roommate, so real quick plug. I live within 2 miles of like 6 mics a week, so if you're trying to get in comedy, you know.
I'll put that. I'll put that in. I'll put that on when I upload the video to YouTube. I'll put that as a header. Hey, he needs a roommate.
Yeah.
Listen to the details at the end, towards the end of the podcast. You just fast forward. Skip to like an hour and 26 minutes. He's talking about how he needs a roommate, and then I'll post that and let everybody see it on Twitter and Instagram.
I'm on a show September 17th for Aaliyah Baroa's.
Oh really?
Yeah, cause she was hit by a car recently, so they're raising money for her, and apparently she specifically asked for me and Colton Jones and Michael Reed to be on the show. I think Joey Johnson too. So the four of us, she was like, I would love it if you guys, because they approached her about doing a benefit show. Yeah. And she said, like, oh, I want these 4 people. And that meant a fucking lot to me. So I'm going to take that one seriously. But the open mics that I do around Denton, everyone says, like, oh, Denton's so liberal. It's like, yeah, but I don't give a... Do you think I give a shit, dude, if a table of sorority girls is upset that I told an abortion joke? Go fuck yourself. I don't care. This is my preparation for, like, if a joke works here, then I'll take it to the club. I don't care if it works here. There are jokes that I would never tell at the club that I will tell in front of your fuck-ass sorority girls that care so much about their beliefs or whatever, you know?
You go a little more wilder at the bars, club.
It's good to have that, though. Don't you think? Don't you think it's good to have, like you were saying... You were just trying to have fun at that mic. I think that I'm really fortunate to live in Denton because I get to go to the city and take it seriously, but then I also get to have my Denton mics where, like, whatever, dude. Yeah. You know? None of those people are going to fight me like they did at Hat-Trick.
Oh, yeah, man. I don't know if you guys can notice, but my...
yeah.
Man,
I don't even think...
My
black eye is gone. But if I like go like that, can you see it? Can you see the red?
Yeah. How long ago was that?
Monday before last.
And it's all over pool money.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. Not funny, but it's like it's awkward that you got to a fight over money that never truly existed.
Yeah. Well, I bought him a shot. That's what pisses me off.
Oh, you bought him a shot?
Well, half the reason the fight started was because he said that I hustled him, which, like, kind of, but like.
Who cares? I mean,
here's the.
Pool.
Well, and if you, all right, so the first game he said, I'll play you for a shot, and I was like, bet, and then we played for a shot, and he sank the 8-ball middle of the game, right, and then he took the 14 and said, this is the new 8-ball, and then played out, and I didn't get to shoot again, and he sank that in. I should have known right then. If I was a smart person that wasn't drunk, then I would have been like, all right, well, this is not a rational person, and we need to remove ourselves from this situation, right? But instead, I bought him that shot, and then he said, I'll play you for $20. And I think we've played pool together. I'm a great pool player, but I play down to people, not like subconsciously. I don't play down to people on purpose, like I'm trying to hustle them. Like, if I don't think you're a good pool player, I play like shit. It's just how I am. Like, just by accident, I play like shit, right? But if you put $20 on the table, all of a sudden I'm going to play my best. And he was pissed that the person he was playing for a shot wasn't the same person he was playing for $20. So I win the $20 bet. I buy him the shot, even though he fucking changed the 8-ball to the 14. Yeah. I told him on the next game, I was like, listen, if you sink the 8, that's on you, and you owe me $20. He said, deal. Right?
But, like, how is that you not playing the same way as you did when you had a shot for a bet and that's $20 for a bet if he's the one that fucked up to begin with?
What do you mean? Fucked up by sinking the 8-ball?
Yes.
Well, dude, he fucked up by sinking the 8-ball. He made the 14 the 8-ball, and then he sank the 14 after his next, like, 2 shots. I think there was only 1 ball left on the table for him to shoot. And then he shot the 14 and said, I won. So you owe me a shot, and I went and bought him a shot because I don't welch on bets. Like,
but that's not a real win.
I know it's not. That's why I'm saying my rational brain should have just been like, Matt, get the fuck out of here. This is not a rational person. No. Like, this is a. Anyways, this fucking dude was flashing money all night, talking about how he was a coke dealer. About how he could fucking, like, I mean, he was pretending like he was the fucking biggest drug dealer in the world. Like, he was fucking Scarface, right? So
Can you go open that jar? Or stop
Oh,
it?
it bothers you?
Yeah, it's too loud.
So he said, I'll play you for $20, and the way he said it was like he was expecting me to shy away from $20. Like, it's like, dude, I got cash in my pocket. Like, I'll play you for $20. So I play him for $20, and I win. Like, I beat the shit out of him. And he says, all right, double or nothing. And I'm like, all right, deal. And I win again, right? And then he doesn't want to pay me. I'm like, hey, man, I'm going to get out of here. Where's that $40? And he's like, nah, dude, it's not even cool what you did. You came in here acting like you weren't. And I wasn't doing that on purpose, first of all. Second of all, he sank the 8, you know? Like, you just fucking sucked, exactly. And he says, well, I'll tell you what, I'll do double or nothing, but you got to play my friend. And he picks a white dude. And the white dude that he picked was much better than him at pool. Like, significantly better. Like, I had to run for my money, you know? But I won that game. And then I refused to leave. And I was like, listen, you owe me $80, dude. Like, you're going to, in front of all your friends, he has like 5 or 6 friends there. I'm like, dude, in front of all your friends, you're going to be a bitch like this and not pay me the money? And I started talking shit. I started saying things like, damn, dude, so you've been flashing money all night, but you can't even afford to pay me $80 when I kick your ass at pool, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. He's like, I'll tell you what, I'll fight you for it. And again, this is the second checkpoint where rational brain should have been like, let's just get the fuck out of here. Like, what are you fighting someone for? Yeah. For money that they owe you.
Funny, though, I would have took the fight just because
I did. And that's the thing is I was drunk and stubborn. Yeah. I'm a stubborn person, you know, in general, but especially when I'm drunk. So he says, I'll fight you for it. It's like 2 in the morning. Fucking bar staff tells us where we can go to fight. We walk to the next parking lot. It's like one store over. We fight. It goes back and forth. I get a couple licks in, but I think overall he probably won the fight to begin with. I take him to the ground, and I take him to the ground because, like, in the Army, they train jiu-jitsu. Like, Army combatives is, like, mostly jiu-jitsu. So I take him to the ground. I'm holding him to my chest, and I roll over on him, and someone's like, let him go. Let him go. And I'm like, why? He was fucking kicking my ass when we were standing up. This dude is, like, 6 feet tall. He's got so much reach on me. Like, I took him to the ground because that's where I have the best chance. He's like, let him go. I was like, no. And then someone else jumps in. I start getting hit in the back of the head. So I break that up, and I stand up, and the dude, which was cool of him, the dude that I was fucking playing pool with, is like, stop. So we fucking leave it alone. Go to the car. I'm smoking a cigarette, leaning up against my car, and one of his friends comes over and is like, I want to tell you, like, you know, even though you just got your ass kicked, I think it was cool that you, like, stood up for yourself and stood your ground, and, like, I respect the fact that, like, you were willing to, like, fight or whatever, stick around for your money. I think he was probably just smoothing me over, like trying to get me to not call the police and everything. But that's not the point. The point is that I hear footsteps coming from, like back here. And as soon as I hear the footsteps coming, I turn around and just fucking catch it, like, to the, like a running punch from a dude that I don't recognize. I hit the ground. I'm on the ground. I go in the fetal position, and he's kicking me. I got bruises on my shins because I'm fucking keeping him from kicking me in the ribs and shit. I got the only remaining bruise is on my hip right now. But it's just from getting kicked on the ground and everything. And the dude who was trying to smooth me over says, like, dude, you just need to go. Get in your car, go. And here's the funny part. The only funny part. I grab some slides off the ground because I think they're mine, right? And I get home, and, like, the next morning, I get in my car, and I see these slides sitting on my passenger seat. They're, like, fucking size 12s, dude. They weren't even mine. Like, I stole one of the guys that was fighting with me. I stole one of their pairs of slides. So there's, like, these size 11, size 12.
Why weren't they on their feet?
Because if you're fighting in slides, you kick them off real fast, dude.
Oh, okay.
You start fighting barefoot,
I've
dude.
never had slides on that.
You're not gonna wear slides in a fucking fight, like. So I grabbed this dude's.
I don't know the pair of slides, so I don't know the.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know.
Slides are the best.
I don't know the protocol.
If you learn anything from our conversation right now, it's that slides are the best, dude. Like, fuck flip-flops. Flip-flops suck. They put that goddamn thong between your... Fuck that. Slides, you just put your foot in there, and then... Really, you don't own
Are they
any
shoes?
slides?
Are they shoes?
Huh?
Or are they a type of shoes, or are they kind of like those
Slides
house-
are sandals with
house
like there's a
shoes?
strap.
Oh, okay, yeah. The
Yeah.
strap. No, I don't own any of those.
Yeah. You don't own any of those? Those are the best part.
I either wear shoes or socks.
Those are the best sandals that
Or
exist.
boots, of course, but I don't.
Boots? Oh, at the warehouse.
No, I just got boots for like whenever.
When you're going goth clubbing.
Yeah, I got some steel toe ones
Yeah.
that I used to use when I would ride my bike.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so yeah. So you took their slides. So what happened to your slides?
I don't know. And I like to imagine that they had a fucking convention of gangsters.
Why was that
And they
guy
were all
there?
like, hey
Why-
man, you're a little shorter than me. You want to see if those fit you? And they like traded slides around. And so.
Why was that guy distracting you to begin with? I mean, it's kind of his fault.
No,
would've been
no.
more
I think he
distracting,
was
yeah.
cool. I think he was a cool dude who was like, I don't like what went down here. I think it was fucked up that my
Yeah.
friend, like, couldn't pay money and then he fought you. I think maybe, like, what I originally thought was he was trying to smooth me over so I didn't call the police, which I would never do anyways, especially not over a fight,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, nah, there's no point calling the police.
Yeah, fuck. Why am I gonna get the police involved? Like, I've been in situations where I was drunk and made mistakes, so I'm not gonna fucking call them out for it. Concussions heal, fucking bruises go away. It's fine, you know.
Yeah, you never want to deal with the cops. I don't want to deal with the
Yeah, I don't want to deal with the cops. I got fucking stuff in my car that I don't want the cops to know about. You know, I'm not gonna call the police to the scene of the crime. Like, allegedly, yeah. Past tense, I had stuff in the car.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Calling the cops is like a bitch move.
Yeah.
Especially if you're gonna be-
No, it is. And just out of principle, I would never do it anyways.
Yeah.
Like,
Crazy.
yeah. So, anyways, like, fucking, I drive home. I take like pictures of myself. Like the initial, I got blood all over my face. There's cuts here. And I got like bruised ribs and fucking bruised shins. My feet are all cut up from sliding over the pavement.
Yeah.
And a bunch of people asked me, like in the following days, like, do you think you have a concussion? It's like, yeah, dude, I have a fucking concussion.
Probably, if you got
I
it down
definitely
bad.
have a concussion. I've had a headache today. No, yesterday was the first day I didn't have a headache in the last 2 weeks. But like, what's the point? What's the point of paying to go to? Oh, I got VA, so I could have gone to the doctor for free. But what's the point of going to the doctor for them to tell you have a concussion? Literally, we don't have any treatment for a concussion. We can diagnose a concussion. We can take a fucking brain scan and say, hey, you have a concussion. Drink a lot of water. like, you know what I mean? Like, what's
Yeah.
the fucking point? Like, so.
You have to go see a doctor for that.
Yeah, and then I took a week off of mics, which is the most time I've taken off of doing open mics since I started doing comedy.
Yeah.
Just because I got my ass beat at fucking Hat Tricks. That's like the hardest part,
But
honestly.
you're at Hat Tricks often, aren't you?
Nah, I've been there maybe 6 times.
Okay, I'm just wondering if you'll be there.
That was my first time there in like 6
I just
months.
wonder if you're gonna go be there again.
No, those
two
dudes are regulars. And I'll be honest, maybe this makes me sound like a bitch. And a few people kind of being tools. 1 or 2 of them, I'm like, yeah, maybe you're being honest. But like a lot of them were like, hey, if you want to go back there, we'll kick their ass. I'm like, dude, what's the point? Like, what are we gonna go get in another fight for? What does it matter, right? But
I'd go with you.
I'll
I'm not
probably.
I wouldn't say like.
You're being one of those people.
No.
God damn it.
No. I wouldn't get into a fight,
Yeah.
but I damn would make sure that they know that you're not a guy to just beat up on again.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, but I don't want to go back there anyways. And I love Elias Ashley. I think he's a dope dude. I think he's a great comic. And I certainly don't want to make his mic sound worse because I also want to make it clear that this happened long after midnight. This happened after all the comedians had already left. I was playing pool on my own account. It had nothing to do with comedy. This was not an open mic related incident. This was long after all the comedians had already left. Yeah. But I haven't had a good set there ever. So what am I gonna fucking go back there for the killer audience and then maybe get my ass beat by the same group of dudes? Like, yeah.
I do a new thing, and since we're almost coming to come to a close on the podcast, it's
Yeah.
8 o'clock. It's almost 2 hours, man. High five.
High five.
Dude, man, it's really great to talk to you, dude.
Sorry.
I
don't know why I said sorry. I guess what
every
I
time
mean.
I talk to you, I like learn more and more how advanced you are in comedy. Like
Well, that makes me
you're
feel
like
like I'm
really-
fucking
you're like
faking
really
it.
well educated in comedy.
I just really love it. So.
It is fucking great.
What?
Okay. Here's a silly thing that I do. You know, Conan O'Brien has a podcast.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I do his. Do you ever listen to how he says you can call in and have a comment
Uh-huh.
or ask a question, whatever?
Uh-huh.
If you want to, I usually include where we call Conan's podcast, and I'll have the guest ask him a question.
Okay. Yeah.
Do it real quick.
What question would I ask him?
Yeah, let's see.
What kind of questions they usually ask? Because I don't listen to that
well, like
podcast.
Cortez said, he wanted a job. He's been doing comedy for 5 years. Help a brother out.
Yeah.
Let me see. I always get her name wrong. Kirsty Hayden.
Kirsty Hayden. Yeah.
She asked what kind of underwear he likes to wear, preferably. She's being silly.
All right. Fuck. That's so
Swag
on the
had a
spot. I
silly-
wish you would have warned me. I would have thought a good
I
one.
keep forgetting to tell people ahead of time. Joseph Rosenzweig asked him who his favorite president was because apparently Conan O'Brien's a really big president guy.
Yeah.
And he said why it wasn't Robert Taft, and then he said some other joke, and I didn't get the reference because I don't know what he was talking about. So
Okay, I got one.
Okay, cool. All right, this is always fun. By the way, did you? I got one of Cortez's new shirts. Nice.
I haven't seen him yet.
Hey, Conan O'Brien here. Here's the deal.
Oh, right,
Ask
I'll
me a
get to it in
question. Feel free to ask me anything you want. And maybe, just maybe, I will answer your question on the podcast. So be creative, go for it, and maybe I'll be talking to you soon.
Hey, Conan O'Brien, this is Rudy Ramsey from the UNG Odyssey podcast, and my guest today, Matt McElhone, has a question for you.
Hey Conan, I was just wondering if there was anyone on the face of the earth that you'd like to drink a White Claw with, who would it be?
Ooh, a White Claw. Is there a reason why you chose that drink?
Yeah, 'cause it's gay.
I don't know why I just thought that was so funny.
Is it still on the call?
Yeah, it's still on the
Oh
call.
my god, I'm fucking hilarious. I think we should use this.
No, I like the after reaction of what the question is, and then like something silly always happens, and then it's just like I just want to imagine what the person's like when they answer that and they're listening to it. They're like, what the hell? Who are these people?
The screener.
Who is this person that keeps calling once a week or twice a week now?
Yeah.
Because I do 2 podcasts a week now. That's really, really limey. Okay, dude, man, it's really great having you on, Matt.
Yeah, I love doing this. This is a blast.
Thank you. I really enjoy having you over here. I know that one day you'll meet Gump.
Meet Gump?
I said one day you'll meet Gump.
Oh, you're geez, Gump. I didn't even know his name.
I'm thinking about changing the name to the podcast, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna change to like
You Odyssey?
I was thinking Rudy Rambles.
That's good. Yeah.
Because kind of that's what I do on here. I just ramble on about shit.
But you want it to be about bringing someone on, too. You don't want it to just be about you rambling. We'll think of something. I'll give it to
I'll
you.
think of something.
Yeah.
But yeah, we can. I can always brainstorm. I'm always open to suggestions. And with that, thank you everybody for another great episode, or for listening or whatever. And thank you, Matt.
Yeah.
I'll let you know when everything comes out.
Thank you.
All right, now let's smoke a doobie. Are you good to smoke or not?
Yeah, I'll smoke. I gotta pee though.
Again?